The NWA is no more as far as I'm concerned, you know, unless it's on death row. That's it.
My sole reason for wanting to leave Ruthless Records was because of Jerry Heller. I didn't believe that he was being fair with anybody in the group except Easy.
I guess they took advantage of me not knowing the record business back in the day. But you know, I know what's up with those numbers now.
Dre got out of his contract with Ruthless and, you know, formed Death Row Records.
Death Row is going to be the label of the future. Death Row is an artist label where the artist is always right. It's a situation where we give a home and have open arms to artists.
We had a studio at that time at Solar Records. I went up there and started recording my record, and Suge was taking care of the business in the meantime.
Suge Knight is a fascinating individual, to say the least. He was a former bodyguard for Bobby Brown in Los Angeles. When he was doing that, he actually began to learn a lot about the music business. The biggest concept that Suge learned was that ownership of your masters was the most important thing, because if you didn't own your masters, you didn't own yourself.
When you turn around and speak on hip-hop, you can't leave my name out of it. When you think it's turn around and speak about who own their ownership to their masters, I'll probably be the only one going like this.
Interscope Records was the only entity that would give him a deal where they would accept him owning his own masters, but at the same time putting out records, a straight-up distribution deal, which was unprecedented at the time.
Suge Knight and Dr. Dre walked in my office, and what I heard coming through speakers that I really was familiar with was something so extraordinary. I just knew that whoever did that was incredible.
Yeah, baby! What was it, Check it out.
When Dr. Dre put out The Chronic, it not only changed the sound of West Coast hip-hop, it changed the sound of all hip-hop.
We all kind of grew up on George Clinton in the P-Funk era. And we used a lot of the sounds that they did. I mean, for a while, that was all I was listening to, so that was a big motivation for the first Chronic album.
A lot of our parents are from the South, so when we go down south every summer, all we hear is Parliament. I know about Parliament. I know about Funkadelic. I grew up watching my aunts and uncles getting dressed going to the Parliament concert, so I was loving Dre.
He was able to take the best elements of the Parliament Funkadelic sound and mainstream it, but at the same time give it that grit, that attitude, that thing that kind of made you nod your head. Really, The Chronic's an R&B record. In the most literal sense, it's a rhythm and blues record. Because he was able to kind of tap into this old soul funk gene, he was able to get listeners that might have never listened to hip-hop records.
So he begins really making pop gangster records. It's a different thing. His records are very accessible. They didn't make gangster music videos. They made music videos about girls in bikinis, big cars. There was a gangster element, but to me that could have been the Beach Boys. It was just some black Beach Boys. They're having a great time. Damn, I wish I was at that party. Damn, I wish I could throw champagne on a girl's head.
First time I knew that The Chronic had a national impact was the winter of 1992. I was in East Orange, New Jersey, which is the home base of Naughty by Nature, who were at the height of their popularity, and every passing car was playing a different cut from The Chronic.
It was a big thing at that time. It was like West Coast records would not get played on the East Coast. The East Coast audience does not respect or enjoy things that we're doing out here. So for my record to break through on the East Coast, that meant the world to me.
Is it Dre? Is it Dre? That's what they say every single day in LA.
Dr. Dre's Chronic album took hip-hop and the whole concept of the album to another direction.
Yes, this is DJ Charmaine Champagne. And this is your Chronic Direct.
It's the first time that an album in the 90s really depicted a point of view where if you put on the record and you close your eyes, you was with Dr. Dre and a lowrider in LA, and you understood that whole lifestyle.
Hey, Snoop!
What up?
Hey, what's up, Dre? I heard your new album, it's the bomb.
1, 2,
3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up.
Before I have to pull the strap out the cut.
Give me the microphone first so I can...
Star of the Chronic was Snoop.
I got my natural, I'm in effect for the 9 tray. A bald head, really though, I'm with the afro.
Snoop Doggy Dogg grew up in Long Beach. One of his best friends at the time was really into the music side, Warren Griffin, a.k.a. Warren G.
Me and Warren G was always friends from kids. We sold candy together, played football together the whole night.
Warren G's half-brother was Dr. Dre. Every time he'd see Dre, he'd say, yo, you really gotta listen to Snoop.
Warren G used to always try his best to get me to go to the NWA parties, and I used to be real shy. I didn't want to be around them because I felt like they were doing their own thing. But Warren G believed in it so much to where I guess it was like a bachelor party that they had, and the music had went off, and Warren G popped in the tape that we had made, and they heard the record, and he was like, I told y'all, this the homeboy Snoop. The rest is history. We started making magic.
Yeah, and that's realer than real deal, Holyfield. And now you hooked up and hoes know how I feel.
He was a little nervous, took a little coaching here and there. Even if you look back at the Nothing But a G Thing video, Snoop was crazy nervous in that. I mean, I don't think there was one take in that video where he stayed focused on the camera. But he's got that star quality, and it just showed.
I guess it's like how LeBron James feel right now. A kid playing with NBA stars and being treated as an NBA star. And that's what it was for us. Dr. Dre was already Dr. Dre. And we was nobody. He didn't treat us like we was nobody. He treated us like we was stars.
I knew from the first moment he stepped on the mic, from the first word that came out of his mouth, I knew he was destined to be a superstar.
My little homie Snoop Doggy Dogg has got my back.
The Chronic was almost like a Snoop Doggy Dogg solo record before Doggy Style came out, and it set the stage for Doggy Style. So when Doggy Style did come out, he had a built-in audience of millions.
From the depths of the sea, back to the block, Snoop Doggy Dogg, funky as the doc.
I wasn't a good writer, but in a battle, I could beat anybody. It wasn't nobody I couldn't beat because I was so good off the top of the head where Warren G could point at this and point at that, and I'm just tearing your ass up. Da-da-da-da, use a bitch, your mama this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Now I'm so smooth, I don't have to dish you on the camera or the TV screen. I'm funky like some collard greens.
But as far as writing, I didn't know how to write. Then once I got with Dr. Dre, he showed me how to turn my 52-bar raps into 16-bar raps.
With the pound like every day, and I'm right back up in you with Dr. Dre. And like
I mean, no one had ever heard a West Coast lyricist that agile. His vocal rhythms were so different than anything else that was out.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop Dogg had this way of singing that was rhyming that we hadn't heard before. He brought a whole new flavor. And he brought the southern drawl into hip-hop. It was just a nice southern inflection.
Laid back.
It was insinuating, it was seductive, it was dangerous.